And we'll call to order the December 7th TTAC meeting. We'll start off with roll call and James.
Good morning. I'm going to read everyone's name. Please let us know if you're here. Ty Adley, Marshall County.
Here.
David Armstrong, Indot Fort Wayne.
Here.
Leslie Beek, City of South Bend. Ryan Klessman, City of Elkhart.
Here.
Josh Corwin, City of Goshen.
Here.
Chris Dressel, City of South Bend. Amy Hill, Transpo.
Here.
Bill Holder, Kosciuszko County GIS. Chris Jamrose, City of Mishawaka. Natasha Kaufman, Elkhart County. Sean Klein, St. Joe County.
Here.
Patrick McCarthy, South Bend International Airport.
Here.
Marsha McSherry, Kosciuszko County. Sky Metters, St. Joe County.
Here.
Steve Moriarty, Kosciuszko County.
Here.
Charles McKenzie, Elkhart County.
Here.
Jason Peters, Marshall County.
Here.
Lisa Schrader. And
Julie Rid-
report.
Julie Ritzler for Lisa Schrader.
Hi, Julie. Thanks for joining
Hi.
us.
Thank you.
Derek Spears, City of Mishawaka. Sean Cerisi, City of Plymouth. Justin Taylor, City of Warsaw. And Brent Warren, City of Napanee.
Here.
All right, we do have a quorum of members present.
Great, thank you. Next item on the agenda is the November minutes. Hopefully everybody had a chance to review those. Are there any questions or comments? If not, we would need a motion to approve the minutes.
Ty Adley, so moved.
Is there a second?
Ryan Klessman, second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? The minutes are approved. Next up, we have reports of chairman and secretary. I'm assuming you'll take over the nominating committee?
I will. So, we have reached the end of the calendar year, which is a little strange to say. But as in every year, as we come to December, we ask for a nominating committee to be formed to review who our TTAC officers are. For those not familiar, our current officers are, our chair is Amy Hill, and our first vice chair is Brent Warren, and our second vice chair is Steve Moriarty. So typically we ask for a few members, maybe 2 to 3, to volunteer to review who our officers should be for next year. It is a long and arduous process, and it does look good on a resume to include that you're on the TTAC nominating committee. But it's actually a very simple process, just looking for a few volunteers. Ty, thank you. Sky, thank you. And anyone else who is wanting to volunteer, please feel free to contact me if you didn't feel moved in the meeting to volunteer, but feel so later, please let me know. That is all that we have for the nominating committee report.
Thanks, James. We can go right into the November administrative modifications.
Yes, when it comes to administrative modifications, those are included in your packet. Those are all the items that were done since the last meeting. So throughout the month of November, really, you can see all those. These administrative modifications are usually minor changes, things that this board, as well as the policy board, have given authority to staff to do between meetings. And then we produce these listings so that you have them as well as the public, so you can see all the changes between meetings. So if you have any questions, feel free to contact any of us on staff. Additionally, in your packet, the next item is just a listing, a reminder of where our meetings, when and where our meetings will be for calendar year 2023. We are going to move around a little bit like we did last year. So next month in January, we will be back up on the 13th floor, which is in the City of South Bend space. And then in February, we will be back here in this room. And then the rest of the year, we will be somewhat on the road. So we will be either at Transpo or in Napanee or in Goshen. These are all locations that we visited this year for TTAC meetings. So you should have some degree of familiarity with them. But you can see all those listings in your packet as well. And with that, that would conclude our report for today.
Great, thank you. Do we have any old business?
There's no.
If not, we can jump right into the new business.
And Allison Reagan will be presenting our transportation resolutions.
Good morning, everyone. This feels very, very formal. I don't like it. Okay, so our first amendment to our transportation improvement program this month falls under Transportation Resolution 38-22. So the City of South Bend was awarded $2.4 million from the federal RAISE grant to fund planning work related to the removal of infrastructure along the Eddy Street Bridge. So the study area for this project will include the cloverleaf interchanges around the bridge, as well as the street network around the farmers market, which is commonly referred to as the Market District. So we're adding this project into our TIP under the title Market District Improvement Project. The work type is an interchange modification, and we're adding funding into fiscal year 2023 under preliminary engineering with a total cost to complete of $3 million. Any questions, comments on this project?
This is just kind of an informational note for everyone. You'll see something that is atypical, which is under the third line down under DES number, it just says RAISE-01. The reason it says this is that MACOG is having to create a DES number for this project. And why I want to point that out is that NDOT really, throughout these discretionary grant programs, is washing its hands of those projects because they don't have to be involved in those projects. Because when you're receiving those discretionary grants, you are becoming a direct recipient. And so NDOT typically throughout the projects that you're used to dealing with is the direct recipient, and then you're a subrecipient. And so NDOT provides required oversight. With the discretionary grant programs, they do not. And that means as simple as creating a DES number, they will not be involved in. So that also means things like environmental, programmatic agreements. Well, all those agencies that have programmatic agreements have them with the state of Indiana, not with you as an individual locality. So for a planning grant, following the federal requirements will be fairly simple as a direct recipient. But moving into, say, a construction grant, that will become extremely more challenging. And I just want to point it out so that as these discretionary grants continue to roll out, of course, we're going to seek funding through them, but they become infinitely more complicated than the processes that you may be used to dealing with. So I just want to make sure that you're aware of that and aren't surprised by, the capacity constraint that comes up when NDOT says, well, we're not going to be involved in that project. So just an FYI, wanted to point it out. For a planning one, it's really not that hard. It'd be more of a challenge for something related to construction, but thought I would point it out.
With that, I would ask for your endorsement of Transportation Resolution 38-22.
Do we have a motion to endorse?
I at least so moved.
Second? All those in favor? Any opposed? If not, Resolution 38-22 is endorsed.
Okay, and then moving on to our NDOT initiated projects. So first we have item A. It is a high friction surface treatment throughout various locations within the Fort Wayne district. We're adding in preliminary engineering in fiscal year 2024 for a total cost to complete of about $1.4 million. Next, we have item B. This is a bridge at State Road 10 at Deer Creek. It is a bridge replacement just east of Argus in Marshall County. We're adding in right-of-way in fiscal year 2023. We already have preliminary engineering and construction in our TIP currently. And the estimated cost to complete is $1.1 million. Next, we have item C. So this is State Road 13 from 3.53 miles south of US 6 to 1 mile south of US 6. So essentially through the town of Syracuse. It is a structural HMA overlay, a hot mix asphalt overlay. We're adding in preliminary engineering in fiscal year 2023 for a estimated cost to complete of about $2.7 million. And then finally, we have item D. This is at State Road 119 and County Road 7. So southeast of Wakarusa in Elkhart County. This is an intersection improvement with an added turn lane. We're adding in construction in fiscal year 2025. Again, we already have PE and right-of-way in our TIP currently. And the estimated cost to complete is about $3.3 million. Any questions on any of these projects? Hearing none, I would ask for your endorsement of Transportation Resolution 39-22.
Do we have a second?
David Armstrong, second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any
Aye.
opposed? If not, Resolution 39-22 is endorsed. We can move into our staff updates.
Okay, so just two quick funding updates. I mentioned both of these last month, but just wanted to highlight them again. So NDOT will be issuing a notice of funding availability for local bridge preventative maintenance type projects on January 2nd. And to be eligible for this, LPAs must have a bridge asset management plan approved by December 16th, which is next Friday. So preventative maintenance site projects could be a bridge deck overlay, but there's actually a webinar that LTAP is hosting right after this meeting that any of our counties are welcome to come up to MACOG's floor and listen in, but it's going to talk through kind of the difference between an LTAP approved asset management plan and a federal or NDOT approved asset management plan. So again, just December 16th for asset management plans, and then the NOFO will be announced January 2nd. And then the second one that we're all familiar with is NDOT's Community Crossings Matching Grant. So the next call for 2023 will open January 3rd and close January 27th. And actually just yesterday, NDOT did announce awards from their 2022, their second call from July. And total funding in the MACOG region for the second call was $6.3 million. And then that combined with the awards from the first call equates to about $15 million that were awarded in CCMG funds in the MACOG region, which is pretty exciting. And again, this is for preventative maintenance for road and bridge type projects. So definitely helpful for our communities. And again, hopefully everyone submitted their asset management plans by the December 1st deadline, but this call will open January 3rd. Thanks.
Morning. Just a real quick note, the Indiana Department of Natural Resources has opened up the Indiana Trails Grant Program. Applications are due March 1st. This is a grant program for trails, obviously, with values between $100,000 and $400,000, and with an 80-20 match, primarily for construction and acquisition. So just wanted to make you all aware of that, and give us a call if you have any questions or need any help with an application.
Good morning. It's been a few months since I've given an update related to our regional freight mobility plan, so I wanted to give you kind of a snapshot of where we're at. We're currently working through the final draft of the priorities for improvement related to our freight plan, which is the last section. The plan would be to kind of present that to our steering and stakeholder meeting sometime after the new year to kind of review a draft of the plan, and then we'll be looking to go out to public comment with that plan probably in the first few months of the year. And then another update on our Michigan on the Move 2050 transportation plan. We're still working through public engagement. We currently have a survey and comment map available. We've had over 100 responses, but we'd really love to kind of capture some more. So we'll be having the survey open through mid-January. That'll be our close. We've also been doing a few engagement events. So we attended First Fridays in November in Goshen, and then we also did the South Bend First Fridays here this past Friday in South Bend. And we'll be looking to set up some more kind of pop-ups throughout the region, probably largely in libraries. But if you have any other opportunities to come speak or promote the plan, or additionally in your planning processes, I know there's a lot of planning that's happening in our region. So if there's opportunity to kind of provide some of our materials within that, we would very much welcome that. Additionally, kind of in the background, we've been working on developing more of our scenarios for scenario planning process of the plan. And our goal would be to kind of come back to you all in the beginning of the year to kind of present some of those initial, the initial input that we collected at our stakeholder meetings a few months ago, and kind of further refine those and develop them so that we can look at kind of what those plausible scenarios of our future would be.
So many think that Christmas is the most wonderful time of the year, but it's actually our quarterly tracking meetings. So the next quarterly tracking meeting will be January 12th. This will be on a Thursday, and it's going to be a week later than normal just with the holidays and all of that. So be on the lookout for the first reminder email from Carla regarding this.
All right, and then I think our last update is on the Connect Transit Plan. So again, we've been updating you throughout our whole process where we are today, but we now this week starting our last phase of this process, and so we have created a draft recommendations plan. Our consultant worked with us to develop a short-term network improvement plan, as well as a long-term additional funding plan as well. And so those things are all coming out this week. We have a survey actually just launching today, and we have our first stakeholder meeting tomorrow, where we're inviting some key stakeholders together to talk through that. And then we'll have public open houses in January as well. So please keep an eye out for information on that. If you are interested and you haven't responded to me, we do still have plenty of space to accommodate you tomorrow for our stakeholder meeting as well. So please let me know.
Thanks, Zach. Privilege of the floor. Any questions or comments from anyone here in person or online?
David Armstrong. Please remember with the community crossings, everything from, I believe, 2021-1 call and prior must be closed. I do know we've got many in 2020-2 that are still open, and the 2021-1 call have also not been closed. Also, we recently hired a new person, Dan Heflin. Most of you should have gotten an email from him. Please direct all your community crossings emails to him, but copy myself. I will be assisting him as he gets into this process.
Any other questions or comments? If not, do we have any public comments?
I do not see any public comments in person. I'm being told that there's none online.
All right, thank you. With that, we just need a motion to adjourn today's meeting.
At least a move.
Do we have a second? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Thanks, everyone. Have a good rest of the week.